Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wild and Wingless. Tonight I got with myself the Queensland racer, Liam Atkinson. Liam, how are you?
Good, mate. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime, anytime. I really appreciate you've been doing a lot of stuff as well for the Wingless series that I've seen of late, and I just thought it was only a matter of time before we sort of sat down and had a chat. It seems like we've both got the soft spot for the division in our hearts. Um, Now I've been sort of watching you for the last few years, but I was quite surprised to hear your journey in Speedway started a lot earlier than that. So, can you give us a quick rundown on how you got into Speedway and get to where you are today?
Yeah, so essentially, old man used to race. My dad used to race some sort of super modified or I don't know, some backyard class. They run it like Nyora and all those Gippsland tracks back in the day. And then he ended up just taking us to a speedway when we were kids. And it was pretty much from that moment I saw race cars. I'm like, I want to be a race car driver. So, and then we were at the classic. We were going to the classic. This is when I was living in Victoria, and we're going to the classic every year. And Wingless came on as a support class. So I think I was like 17 or 18 at the time. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy one of those. So I went out and bought one. And that was 2009, 2010, around that time.
Right.
So
Did you start racing in Victoria, or where did you actually start racing in Victoria?
Yeah, Gippsland. Like first race was at Rosedale Speedway.
Yeah, nice.
And what a shit show that was.
Really? Okay, throw us back to it. What happened?
Yeah. Oh, so back in the day, like wingless were relatively new. There wasn't a lot of them going around. So I buy this car, no background in racing at all, zero, nada, nothing at all.
Yep.
And a wingless sprint car is a lot different to what my dad used to race. So, he didn't really have much of an idea either. So I just bought this car by myself, didn't really know anyone in the industry. So I go and view this thing and yeah, it's okay. It looks okay. And buy this thing and go to a practice, and it's got no gear set in it, no gear oil, power steering doesn't work, all these things. And I'm like, I don't know, like I was young and naive and didn't really know. And anyway, we get to Rosedale and we got through the first night okay, and we had Bands Day on the second night, and it was my first big crash and probably the biggest crash I've still ever had in a wingless on my first weekend of racing. And boy, it was a big one. And back then there was like scrutineers weren't, super onto stuff. So belts weren't getting checked properly. So I was quite injured. Like I hurt my ribs and my sternum quite a bit. So that was my introduction to racing a wingless, was just absolutely destroying the car.
Jeez.
Yeah. So we've come a long way.
Come a long way. So then, okay, so how long have you been racing up with the Queensland Club? How long have you been up there for?
I think 6 years. I did a year in sprint cars when I first moved to Queensland.
Yep.
So we did 360s for a season. Sort of got it out of the system. But yeah, I think six or 7 years I've been racing back in Queensland. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what is it that you enjoy about wingless the most?
There's a couple of things. The most is probably for me would just be the ease of the maintenance on the car and just the time. It affords me the time to still live a pretty busy life, but still race competitively in a race car. So that's probably the thing I enjoyed the most, because I'm quite busy.
Mm-hmm.
And with the wingless car, don't get me wrong, like we maintain the car and it's always, in tip-top shape. But in comparison to other classes where the maintenance schedule is a lot more vigorous, I can manage this at a high level and still, be busy at work. So that's probably the thing I like the most. The second would be obviously the competition. It's just and your competition, national class, you can go travel, we can go and race everywhere. And the affordability as well. They're relatively cheap. I don't say it's cheap because it's not. To win races and have a really good race car, it's not cheap.
Yep.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So one of the things for this season, and you sort of introduced this season, was the WOW series. I go on about it a fair bit, but you were one of the 20 drivers who were contracted to the series.
Yeah.
What give us your thoughts on being named as a contractor driver, and then what's your thoughts so far on that series? How have you progressed with it?
Yeah, I guess speaking candidly, like I was pretty much gifted the spot. There wasn't a lot of Queensland guys that put their hand up, and I wasn't the first pick, so which is fine. Like I got no qualms and no issues or anything like that. But like it's great. Don't get me wrong. Like very grateful for the opportunity to be a contractor driver, and I think it's a great concept. But getting offered the contract, I wasn't like doing backflips and jumping sort of thing. But having said that, now I am really grateful and I'm really excited that I did get selected. But yeah, at the time I was like, yeah, cool. It would have been nice to get the offer first, considering I've been racing for so long and raced like 30 tracks across the eastern seaboard, and we've done okay. But yeah, I don't really hold any grudges or anything like that. But really excited for the series. And after Toowoomba, it was just the vibe it had in the pits. Like it just had a different vibe. Like I just said, I've raced a lot of tracks across the eastern seaboard. I've been to a lot of events, raced in wingless titles and all this sort of jazz. Other series shows they've had, but none quite had that same atmosphere and vibe that the WOW series did. I don't know what it is because I was in it and it was my home state, or whether it was the series. I think it's just the fact that you've got a bunch of cars in the pits that a lot of them can win races.
Yep.
So you know that it's going to be a really good night of racing. So I just had that buzz, like a classic-esque sort of vibe about it.
Yep.
Which in a wingless race is cool, and it's really cool to be a part of.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Like we had a lot of cars there. It was I sat there thinking, man, this is like you've got all these boys here like yourself, and I'm not taking digs at anyone. All I'm saying is we've got a lot of egos here. What's going to happen? And it was all you boys respected each other enough to know you guys got to do this for 5 more times. Don't go make an enemy straight away.
Yeah.
But I think it was really like it was the way everyone treated each other. As you said, the buzz in the pit area that surprised me the most. I actually found that pit area real easy at the end of the night. Actually, before the end of the night, I walked around. I had my camera out. I even came up to you guys. We've never spoken before. Hey man, can take some videos and photos? Yeah. And everyone was just so easy going with that side of things. And then afterwards, at the end, having beers with everybody, it was just the vibe was just so positive.
Yeah,
but
I agree, man. Look, it's when I first started racing wingless, it was very much like that. You have beers after the race meeting when it's finished. You have a laugh and it's a good time. But the last sort of I don't know 5. I know there's select groups that sort of do that, but the last sort of 5 years, it's tapered off quite a lot. Probably because it's getting a little bit more serious. But that's something that I used to really, really like. And like I've made really good friends racing wingless. And like I just mentioned Dane before, like we raced our first couple of seasons together and like we're still keeping in touch. Like I just flew him up to Sydney and we're still hanging out. But yeah, I just feel like the last sort of few years, that camaraderie around other races it's sort of dropped off a little bit, especially in after the show. So having that sort of vibe after the show, and I probably wasn't in the best mood after Toowoomba, but you can just see everyone getting around the pits, and I think what Toowoomba have done with having the kids in the pits has just helped that tenfold as well. So, a good night of racing, kids are in the pits, everyone's happy, mum's happy, dad's got a beard, like it was a good vibe.
Yeah, I've noticed over the last say 12 months, 18 months for us personally, when we go away to race in other states. After racing, it's sort of been a bit hit and miss who we can talk to, as you said. Like you get a bit of groups and stuff like that. If you keep to yourself, I guess not always people are going to be inviting you in there, but definitely Toowoomba just showed the amount of people and I'm not trying to push myself in any way, shape or form, but just the feedback I've had from people listening to other people's episodes. So like, for example, tonight, people are going to listen to your episode and go, I didn't know that about Liam. Like, the dude's just like us. Like now we've heard him talk, we've heard him laugh, like, and I think it's breaking down that wall, and just to know we're all human and everyone can approach everybody at the end of the race, and we can have a brewski and just be happy to be part of what we're doing. But
I think that's exactly right. What you just said about being happy with what we're doing. Like we're all in a position where we get to go and race cars with your family and friends. You've got crew coming to help you, support you in your hobby. Like, we should all be just really grateful that
Absolutely.
we're in a position that we can do this. And like, that's something that I carry very strongly, is that I'm just so grateful that I 10 years ago would have wished, I would have wished to have what I have now and be doing what I'm doing. And I guarantee there's going to be guys that listen to this that I raced with back in the day, and they would have thought, this guy isn't going to make it. He's hopeless. He's useless. But now it's a totally different story. And I'm super grateful to be part of it, and just go to each race meeting with the attitude, just enjoy the moment, or whatever it takes, like whatever it sort of brings, and just be grateful that we're here doing something we love.
Yeah, no, that's right. Well, another thing you got to take away from that WOW series, you actually now hold a bit of history there. You're the first WOW series heat winner. Now, I know it's only a heat, but dude, take what you can get when you can get it with all those guys. So that was pretty cool to knock that off, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I was pretty wrapped with the whole night, to be honest. So taking the first win was cool, and it was my wife and I's 6-year wedding anniversary too. And
I think I heard that from someone, and she wasn't there, was she?
Yeah, no, she wasn't. I actually got a little bit choked up when I was talking about it.
Yep.
Because she was literally at the first race I'd ever been to.
Really?
We're on there. Yeah, like that long ago.
Wow.
And then obviously being on one of the biggest wingless stages, I guess, in this whole WOW series, it's under the spotlight, and to get the first heat win, and we were talking about it, like I was really confident, and I was sort of trying to manifest doing really well, and we had our anniversary love in the air, that's that magic. So she texted me as soon as it happened, and it was awesome, man. Like, it was cool. It was just a bloody shame we couldn't convert the rest of the night, or we were sort of halfway through that feature race, sort of challenging for a podium, and I sort of feel like we probably had the car to place. It would have been really cool to have a Queensland 1-2. I definitely thought we had the car to do it, but the driver made a little bit of a mistake and cut down that tyre. But it was good to sort of have car speed as well. Like, I thought that there might have been question marks about whether we were quick enough or whatever it is to be in the series, but I think after Toowoomba, after the heat races, like the numbers don't lie, and especially in that feature race too. Like, we're not there to make up numbers. We're there to compete. So
no, I definitely saw the speed in your car. I've seen your name sort of come across from sort of watching the results over Queensland for a bit now. So I definitely knew you had speed behind you. And getting that first heat win did everything. And then when I found out later, sort of Wade told me that he's like, man, that Liam guy that just won the first. I'm like, yeah, he goes, it's his wedding anniversary. I'm like, is it? And he's like, yeah. I went, oh, where's the missus? And he goes, nah, she's at home. I thought, oh.
Yeah, man.
But anyway,
I've sacrificed a lot over the years to go racing. Like that, it was like I can't even. I've lost relationships, missed birthdays, weddings, engagements, everything. Like, I've sacrificed a lot to pursue this.
Yep.
So my wife knew who she married. She knew what was going on.
There you go. Yeah. Well, then she just has to come to the next rounds. So so moving forward, so this weekend we're going to have round 2 at Eastern Creek. Give us your thoughts on Eastern Creek. You've been here before, or?
I rolled in. I drove down on Friday last week.
Yep.
I pulled in. It was actually really cool. So there was thunderstorms rolling in when I arrived, and I was looking over the track, and there was just like lightning strikes over in the distance, and it was just like, it looked fast. Like, I'm like, this makes the track look fast.
Yep.
But it's a racetrack. Like, it's a proper racetrack. The venue is a proper venue. The racetrack, like, I know it come under a lot of scrutiny, but the shape of the racetrack, the pit area, I'm so excited. Like, I like those tracks. Like, I look at that and I'm like, we can win. Like, we can go into this and win.
Yep.
Like,
that's, I think
nothing bothers me about that track. Like, it's like, cool. It's wide open.
Yeah.
There's multiple lanes. I watched the last race there. I watched the whole race, like every heat race. I studied everything about it. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I know what we need to do. And it just, it looks like a cool racetrack.
I still think it's going to evolve, because you got to remember they changed the shape of that track, and we've had 2 practice days on it. We did a day meeting last season, and we had a race meeting this season, and that's it. So we're still, even New South Wales guys, we're still pretty fresh to that. And I think when you throw and yeah, I'll go say the whole 60 because that's what we're getting, 60 cars. It's going to be huge,
Yeah.
right? And you take 60 cars and you send them there with everyone's got their own little ways to do things. As much as it's great to go, all right, let's go the Andrew Sayer way and just send it to the high side. Who knows? That might not be the fastest way around that time. So it's going to be very interesting to see how everyone's going to sort of hold it. Andrew doesn't like me sort of referring to him as the fast kid, so I've got to keep him as like the underdog now. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be cool. So I'm glad to hear your thoughts on that venue because it has come under a lot of scrutiny, and I think it will always have something there. It's just the way human nature is. We're stupid, and
Yeah.
we just don't see what we got till it's gone. Unfortunately, look at Valvoline and look at Archfield. But yeah, all right. So you're looking forward to it, and then after that, we're gonna have a bit of a break over Chrissy, and then obviously go hit up the southern rounds, and then make our way to Mildura. What
Yeah.
Did you ever race at Mildura when you were a Victorian boy?
Unfortunately, not. No.
Did you race Simpson?
Yeah, we've done all
Okay.
Victorian tracks. Yeah. So yeah, we don't. I think we're going to race. There's a few races up here that we're going to do in between Sydney and in February. There's I think not big title. Our Queensland titles in January. There's another show at Toowoomba. We're going to do late in December. So we're going to keep racing. Like we just want to keep got that momentum and just got that drive again to just get the bum in the seat and just race whenever we can. But yeah, I'm very keen to get down and race in Victoria, race Simpson, Borderline, all of them. Like I just want to get there. I just wish you would hurry up and we could go racing already.
That's it. But then I don't want to hurry up because then it's all over and we're going to be driving home after 2 weeks because we do the Australian title in Mildura. Then the following week we have the WOW Series final round, and then we're going to be driving home from Mildura. Everyone's going to be like, "Oh man, is that it?" Like,
yeah. Well, hopefully we can, be driving away with some sort of hardware in the ute or the trail. Like that's I don't. Yeah, if we come home with hardware, I'll be chuffed as.
Yeah.
So, but no, I haven't raced Mildura to answer your question. But I've watched a lot of videos and it looks like a racetrack too. Like it's big, it's wide, it's open, it's fast.
Yeah. What?
Excited.
Where did you end up at the Australian title Lismore earlier this year?
Yeah.
How'd your Australian title go?
Well, I'll tell you the story in a short version.
Let's go.
So we went out for practice and we quick timed overall.
Yep.
We're like 200ths of a second.
Yep.
And I just put this setup in the car and I'm like, done it. This is it. Like we got a fast race car.
Yep.
And that's probably about as fast as it went the whole weekend.
No way.
We did. Yeah, we just scraped through. Like we made the A we didn't. We're never fast enough to compete. I was actually having last year off to do some soul searching and focus on a few things. I did find myself back at a racetrack pretty quickly. I was sort of having a bit of an identity crisis about racing. I'm like, I didn't know what it was anymore. I'm like, do I even like doing this sort of thing? Or is it part of who I am? And because I'd done it for so long, I was sort of hanging on to it, but I wasn't enjoying it anymore. And so I took some time away and just tried to figure it out. And then, a few months later, half the season sort of wore on and I went to a racetrack and I just felt this overwhelming feeling of just like peace and was like, okay, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to be doing. I was still going to have the rest of the year off, but then the whole Eastern Creek thing happened and they changed the title to Lismore. So I thought, running 2 titles back to back close to home, I may as well give it a go.
Yep.
So we were pretty rusty, to be honest. Like we just did enough shows to qualify. Yeah, went out and practice, had a great practice, and I thought we were heroes. But yeah, we just scraped through for the rest of the weekend, and I think we finished 17th or 18th in the A main. But we'll never a chance of moving forward.
See, sorry, man, but I hear you saying that. But do you remember how many cars were nominated for that race?
Yeah, I understand, but we're race car drivers. Like,
I know, but I'm sitting there thinking, hang on, dude, like you got I think it was 72 cars, because I got clipped over the years for sort of saying something similar that you're saying, because I think Tyson finished 15th or something. I said, it's really disappointing. They go, dude, 72 cars, only 20 make it. Shut up. Like,
I wasn't disappointed.
Yeah, fair enough, but.
Yeah, you have to have expectations to be disappointed.
Well, that's okay. Fair enough.
I didn't have expectations. Like I just wanted to go there, have fun with one of my best mates, and go and race my car. And I knew Like fundamentally, I know if I do what I need to do, we're going to be there or thereabouts, and that's essentially what happened. We did enough, because this stuff takes time. Like being a good race car driver, and for me personally, like this is something that I've had to work on over a long period of time.
Yep.
Like this hasn't been, I haven't been competitive forever, so I've spent a lot of time trying to develop I wasn't gifted naturally. Like I don't have natural talent to drive race cars. It's something that I'm really interested in that I had to learn really well. You've got guys that are just good. They get in a car and they're good.
Yeah.
But we engaged. Like I engaged a sports psychologist. We did a lot of work on cognitive ability, reflexes, all this stuff, fitness, which you couldn't tell now, but we did.
So hang on, I'm interested in this. So what did you find during all that?
Racing a car and steering it is a bunch of decisions.
Right.
So you have to make a bunch of little decisions and a lot of decisions during a race. So what are things that stop you from making good decisions? Fatigue would be one of them.
Yep.
Reflexes. If your reflexes if you're not on.
Yep.
If you are on, or if you're on that little bit more than what your competitor is, you get an edge. So what we were looking for is these 1%, 2% gains in not the car, just in the driver.
Yep.
So, and then you stack all them up, and then the driver's 5 or 6% better. If you went to an engineer, race car engineer, or someone said, "I'm going to make your car 8% quicker," take my money.
Yeah,
how much do you want? I'll take it.
Who wouldn't?
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, we worked really hard at it, and you can ask guys like, I've got blaze pods. I don't know if you know what they are or not. They're reaction time lights.
Oh
LED lights.
Yeah, we use them in hockey training. Yeah.
So like I had them up on my trailer, and the guys that are pitted next to me always just heard this doosh, 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 like thuds on the trailer. I have a reflex ball that we were using, doing just some exercises to get your peripheral vision in, just so when I was in the car, I was ready to go. Like, I wasn't thinking about anything else. I had exercises I was doing on the dummy grid to just help me focus. And when we committed to that, we probably had our breakout season.
Right.
But it takes a lot of work. Like it's a lot of visualization. Like I still visualize now before a race, because we can't practice. You can't jump in. So it's like, well, how do you practice? Visualize.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely something that I'm not committed as much to it now because it takes a lot of time. But I know that to be the best, my best version as a driver, I know the path to get there.
Yeah, right.
So at the moment, I'm doing the best I can with the time I have available, and I'm just doing the best I can to get as much done as I can. That was working with a sports psychologist, just getting some other tools to help me, because I struggled a lot with ego versus confidence.
Yep.
And racing has done a lot for me, my personal life, and just how I carry myself as a person, the way it's developed me, developed a certain resilience, and so I can. There's a lot of transferable skills that I've learned through racing that I plug into my personal life, into business, whatever it may be. But working with a sports psychologist, same thing. It's just getting tools to help me, process things differently. Try and shake those negative thoughts you have in your head when you're sitting on the dummy grid. How to quickly, something happens on a racetrack, how to, just get focused back on the task at hand rather than, focus on an old mate that fed you a wheel, and all those stuff sound real easy. All that stuff sound real easy in theory, but putting them into practice in that heightened state of racing a car is tricky. And I guarantee any driver that listens to this would be like, that they would agree. So it doesn't get spoken about a lot. I don't know why. I don't know. Like the mental game in racing it's massive. It's huge. Yep. I don't know why more people aren't talking about it. I don't know why more people aren't focusing on it. I don't know.
Well, I think it's because at the end of the day, you're looking at something that gives you an edge. So one thing I know in karting, right, when I used to teach a lot of kids in karting and all the rest was, and Tyson still does it to this day. Go look at him, and he's running a tinted visor. He'll run a tinted visor all day and night. He will just run one. To him, the tracks are well lit enough for him to run a tinted visor at night time. And that's what he does. But what you won't catch him doing when you're side by side, he won't look over at you. He knows you're there. He's looking out his peripherals. He knows you're there, but he won't turn his head. And it used to be a deal in karting when you used to come up alongside of each someone. You're going down for a line. As soon as whoever looked first over the other person, that's the person who lost. Because it's a mind over game. So that's why I think a lot of talk is. But it was interesting you bringing that up because I've often wondered how many drivers, exactly as you said, some of us just aren't gifted. Mate, I was only good at driving things and destroying them beyond any sort of repairability and setting my parents broke. That's all I could ever do. That's why I had to stop racing, and Tyson's much better than me. But I sort of sit there and think, like, I love the sport. I love doing it. Man, I'd give anything to have a crack again. I would. But there's people out there like me, and obviously you fall in the same category. We're not those people who have just got that light touch and able to do things without even thinking about it. A lot of things go through our head. But, mate, I appreciate you sort of opening up and sort of bringing that to our attention because I believe you're not the only one. I've seen at least 2 or 3 sprint car drivers in Sydney working on those reaction lights and reaction balls. As I said, we use them in hockey and stuff like that, but yeah, that's a different sort of kettle of fish. But to say that people are doing them in sprint cars or in racing is not a tar racing. I know it's not an uncommon thing. So
I guarantee you look at every F1 you got in the F1 paddock.
Absolutely.
I guarantee all of them are doing it. You go the supercars. I bet you all of them are doing it.
NASCAR, so same deal. They're not sitting back.
No. So I just those little 1%ers, man. So like people might look at me now, like we race against guys that are like, oh, he's pretty good. It's like, yeah, man, I had to but you ask someone, ask Brad Warren. Ask Dane Van Velzen, what was Liam like when you first started racing? I guarantee they'll all tell you the same story.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing Brad Warren shortly, so I'll make sure I ask him. But okay,
you ask him, and he'll laugh. I guarantee it.
Yeah, nice.
Because it's chalk and cheese. It's day and night of what it is now. I'll tell you.
No, that's okay. No, it's good. It's good you bring that up. But I just to get to the A main of the Australian title. I understand we all want to be better than what we got. Like we were disappointed with 15th, but that's only because he went to his first Australian title at Archerfield, and I wasn't there, but he ran 4th that night, and so we were thinking, like, whoa, we've never been this good in a. So you sort of, I guess, I can see where you're coming from. You get your disappointments because you always try,
set the bar.
Go higher. But at the end of the day, to be in the top 20, I think is amazing out of 72.
Yeah.
But look at the WoW series, for example. We had 34 cars, and we're talking 34 of the best. Like, they were. And to make that A main was awesome. This weekend, you're going to have a bit of luck on your side because you got 24 cars are making the show, not 20. So extra 4. But man,
you're going to have to it's a lot of. It's going to be hard work. Like just to make the show, like you have to pass. So you just have to pass.
Yep.
And it's not just 1 or 2. Like you passing 4 or 5 cars a heat just to make like the middle of the A.
Yeah. So speaking of Wade, I think it's five groups of 12 cars in the heats. Man, that's hard.
But it's gonna be fun. Like whatever. Like more cars to pass. More stuff to learn. We've got tools. We've got stuff in the back pocket. Just got to figure out how to get around them.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I have to say one of the best things about this WoW series is the fact I've been able to reach out and speak to people. And one of the after meeting you at last time, I actually worked away thinking he's a cool cat, like good bloke. Yeah, you had a bit of. I know you weren't happy at the end there, but I thought that's all right. We'll catch up for another lucky dip and have a beer then. But that's good.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Mildura for the Australian title? You all pumped for that one?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Keen just for that couple of week period.
You going to stay the week down there?
Oh yeah, shit, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of beer are going to be consumed.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I might have a couple of big nights, but Broomy actually is in the group chat. We should organise some golf, so I'm pretty keen for
No. See, this is him exactly what he wants to do. He's going to fool all you guys. You got to put some money on. I know people are going to put some lazy 50s on there, a couple of hungies. He's going to take all your money. He's a good golfer.
Golfer. I mean, I just saw he played 72 holes somewhere
I
for
know.
his charity. So I'm like, you wouldn't be doing that if you weren't any good. Well, it's Ambrose, like it's 2-ball Ambrose, like doesn't matter. It's just for fun. It's just a
Oh,
piss
yeah.
up, and
It'll be good.
just gets everyone out, a bit of banter sort of thing.
I think there's going to be a lot of sort of activities throughout the week. Daniel
Yeah.
Goldoni sort of dropped on a few things, and since then I've sort of heard some ideas that people have got sort of going. So I think it's going to be a great week. And if anything, it's bringing all the drivers together. You go from just knowing a number or a person you don't really talk to, and it gets everyone talking. I think that's the main thing. So hats off to Broomy for throwing that invite out. Mine must have been lost in the mail because he knows I'm terrible, but that's all right. Hey, so Lee, before I let you run away, let me just ask you a couple of questions here. What's your favourite racetrack you've raced
on? Probably Toowoomba.
Toowoomba?
Yeah, I love Toowoomba. I had Archfield. I mean, there's so many, but if I had to say it now, current tracks, Toowoomba.
Toowoomba.
Nostalgic track would be Bairnsdale.
Yeah.
Like I always love getting back to Bairnsdale. Yeah, that's where I started.
Yeah,
that's
nice.
Where it was. I did a lot of racing there when I first got going. So we went back there a few years ago, and yeah, it was cool to go back. But at the moment, it would have to be Toowoomba.
Toowoomba. Nice. All right, what's your favourite moment in the sport as a driver?
Winning my first feature after 11 years. So there you go. So that was 11 years in 2021. So it'd be, 13 years now, or 14 years now. I've been racing wingless.
So tell me about that feature.
Oh, dude, it was so good. Like the race itself was very anticlimactic. Like we got away with it, and it was very slick. So we're just rolling the bottom. We lost brakes, so we caught lap traffic, and that's when it got a bit hairy. But I knew there was only a handful of laps left, so I knew if I just sort of I slowed down a little bit, and the second car sort of did gain a little bit towards the end, but I knew there was only a couple of laps left. But that feeling, that overwhelming, like I teared up because I was trying to do this for 11 years, and like we come close time and time again, second, third, like never got the win. But getting that win, man, was just like the biggest weight had lifted off my shoulders. And the only person I beat was me, like because I pretty much swept the night. Like I was clear that like it was just one of those nights, and only person I had to beat that night was me. And the feeling of beating myself in here, and actually believing I could do it and actually doing it was just, it's up there with one of the best feelings I've ever felt in my life.
That's awesome.
Like it was just. Yeah, like guys can go and win races and whatever, but doing something for 11 years and as dedicated I was to it, and then finally getting it, man, that was it was so good.
I think so good. To clean sweep as you said you did, and then get the W at the end. That's perfect. Yeah. That's a perfect. Yeah. So what track was that?
It was Archerfield.
Archerfield.
Yeah. Jeez. I nearly had another night there where we clean sweeps. We ended up finishing third behind Jolly and Scotty Thompson, but that would have been a really nice one to get the clean sweep and beat those guys as well. It was a pretty stacked field that night.
Yeah.
A few other Queensland, like the O'Connells were there. They're pretty quick.
Yep.
So we just had a good night, and it wasn't any luck either. Like we just had a good night.
Nice.
But anyway, it is what it is.
No, well done on that. That's good. That's yeah. For you, it means a lot. So that's all that matters, and it sounded like it was a good race to watch too. So, and especially being where it was, you can't get those wins no more. So,
no, it's a shame. It was so close to home. It was only like 40 minutes from home.
Yeah.
So, gone are the days. It was so good because they had midweek practice as well.
Really?
So we could go out. Yeah, Tuesday nights I had midweek practice.
Wow.
So we used to go out all the time. Like it was great. We gave crew guys a drive. We were trying all different setups in the car. We'd scale the car and, all right, let's go check this one out this Tuesday night. We'll do this, do that, whatever. You could hire guys that do build shocks. They'll come out there with you for the night and you try this, try that.
Really?
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah,
it's like so taking good. half a guesswork out of it, eh? That's just like getting straight to the nitty gritty.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. We were so blessed. It's such a shame that it's gone, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Hey, man, look, again, thank you so much for giving us time. I'm going to look forward to catching up with you on Saturday night at Sydney International Speedway for round 2. But before I let you go, I'd like to give everyone an opportunity to thank their sponsors and the people who help them get to the races and all the rest. So, mate, the floor is yours.
Well, the only sponsor on the car would be EFC, which is my company. So I guess I need to thank all my employees for for being great. But no, I don't really have any sponsors. Like, I got to thank the missus for putting up with all the travel that we do. And I got my main crewman, Disco. He's been with me for like 6 years. He rarely misses a show. So yeah, props to those guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I don't really have much corporate backing
No, that's
nowadays.
right. We don't have it
Yeah.
either, but people help here and
Yeah.
there
Oh,
with
and the
shops
old
and help.
man.
Old man, there we go.
And the old man. So he lives down in Bairnsdale, and he's been flying here, there, and everywhere to come watch me race. So same thing. He was there at my first race, and he gets there as much as he can nowadays. But like he's flying up tomorrow because we were going to drive down together. So he's flying up here tomorrow, and then we're going to fly down to Sydney, and then he's going to drive back with me. And yeah, no, he's awesome. He comes to as much as he can.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, oh man, well look, yeah, thanks very much for your time. I wish you nothing but the best of luck this weekend. Yeah, so apart from that, everyone else, make sure you tune in on Clayview or get down to the Sydney International Speedway this Saturday night if you can to see round 2 of the WOW Series. Apart from that, thank you very much, Liam Atkinson, for giving us the time. And until then, I'll see you guys then. Take care.